who averages 3.2.
I don't think Davis realized she was as close to the basket as she was when she put that shot up.
Kiki Lund to Oakland, maneuvers it left side to Doherty. She drives, blows past her defender, and lays it home. Kristen Doherty takes her defender to school. Doherty with 5, Oakland with 5, Holterman with 5. And the Flyers lead 15-2. Who'd have thought? Wright with the basketball in the left corner. Here's penetration by Thomas. She walked, and now it's a delayed call, but they called it right.
Well, that was right in front of the official. You're not going to get away with that. It was blatantly obvious she traveled, and the official, a little delayed, but did make the call.
So far in this game, Dayton has shot 86%. That's 6 of 7. Far cry from the start of the Indiana game. And Clemson is only 1 of 6. Clemson has 4 turnovers, and Dayton has 0. This is a perfect start. And the 3 is nailed by Kristen Doherty from the left side. The perfect start continues. Doherty has now hit her season average of 8. It's 18-2. Who'd have thunk?
Well, certainly not me, and it's not a knock on the Flyers, but they are shooting absolutely lights out. And you could not have expected this kind of start, but you'll certainly take it as they have hit 7 of 8 shots. They are 2 of 2 from beyond the three-point line, and just incredible to come out and flex your muscle at the very beginning. The key is keep this intensity up for the full 40 minutes of basketball.
That's right, because I would imagine Clemson is going to be starting to press because even though, as I mentioned earlier, it's hard to press when the other team just makes shot after shot after shot. You don't have a chance to set up your press. Sure. All right, let's continue with Clemson's season recap. They lost at Michigan State, another ranked team. They've had a very tough schedule. That was the ACC Big Ten Challenge. The score was 68-51. Again, Clemson only 2 of 18 from three-point stripe. Parker had 13. Clemson lost at Arkansas 79-63. Campbell had 16. Clemson out-rebounded 42-29. They won at Furman 58-52. Lloyd had 16 and got 2 more games. We will get to it here in a moment. But right now, Brown brings the ball up court. Campbell, one of the original starters, comes back into the next dead ball. Still man defense, and the 3 is taken over Holterman. It's missed by Wright, and Brittany Holterman comes down with the rebound.
Again, one and done. No offensive rebounds yet for the Tigers.
And now it's underneath from Cloxton to Oakland. Head fake in the lane, and she goes up, and she draws yet another foul. Davis has picked up her first, the team's 3rd.
Well, and anytime you can get to the line, a chance for free points. That's why they're called free throws. Nikki Oakland, 1 out of 2 so far tonight. A chance to make this a 20-2 ball game if she can hit both.
Unbelievable. So, Nikki Oakland at the line. 29 last year at Clemson. First free throw's good. Fast start. She's got 6. So Clemson now brings in 3 players. Campbell is back in. Hardy is back in. And Lloyd is back in. So Oakland can make it 20-2. As this Flyer team is going for win number 10 in a row, Nikki misses the free throw, and it comes down into the hands of Clemson. Brown with it on the left side to Whitney Hood between the circles. Hardy on the right side. And now Brown has it between the circles. Coach Jaber upset with something. He's complaining to the officials. Campbell starts his drive, or her drive, and puts it in.
Well, a nice acrobatic shot there by Campbell, and if that's going to go in, the underhand shot from 10 feet out, you'll give it to her.
And now in the back court, do we have another? Yes, we have another Clemson foul as they had a little pressure on Brittany Holterman. The foul goes on to Alicia Lloyd, her first. So 4 different Tigers each have a personal foul.
Well, this is where you can set up the press after a made shot by the offense.
They do so, and again, there is no 10-second violation in the back court, so Brittany Holterman brings it up. The score is 19-4, and Holterman over to Cloxton. Kara has gone the whole way at the point. Kiki the 3, got it, swishes it on the right side. Kiki Lund makes it 22-4. Now Hardy to Campbell. The Tigers down 22-4. Turnaround shot in the lane. Whitney Hood gets the roll.
Basket by Whitney Hood.
Well, a good answer by Clemson, but the Flyers will certainly trade 2 for 3 every time down the court.
And now Cloxton is pressured in the backcourt by Campbell. Eludes her with no problem to Kiki. In the right corner to Nikki Oakland. Over to Cloxton. Now Kiki to Oakland in the paint. Nikki puts it in. She's got 8. She is just tearing Clemson up.
Yeah, Clemson has absolutely no answer for Oakland inside.
24-6. And we're going to see Kelly Kyle in the lineup for the first time. And there's an offensive charge. Drawing it was Cloxton. It's called on Lily Hardy, her second.
Lily Hardy, her second, team's fifth.
So here's Kelly Kyle into the lineup. 6'4" sophomore, averages 4.6. Kathy Gwynn comes in the lineup, 5'5" senior, averages 3.5. Leaving the Dayton lineup are Kara Cloxton and Nikki Oakland. So we'll see Kathy Gwynn run the Flyer offense. And Stephanie Thomas is back in for Clemson.
If you look over at the Flyers bench, you can just see the excitement of all the players every time a shot goes in or when that charge was drawn. They feel this energy even sitting on the bench.
Kiki with the ball on the right side, starts to drive, is cut off. 20 on the shot clock. She gives it up to Kyle, takes the right baseline shot, and it spins out. Delisha Lloyd comes down with the rebound. See if Clemson runs, trailing 24-6, approaching 12 minutes to go in a beautifully played first half for the Flyers, who are shooting 9 of 11 from the field, and that's 82%. And now the shot is taken inside Hood, misses the 10-foot, and the rebound comes down to Brittany Holterman. Quickly up to Kelly Kyle. She maintains her balance, forces it in the lane, doesn't get the roll, and this time the rebound comes down into the hands of Delisha Lloyd. Maybe
not the best shot selection there. Would have rather seen her pull the ball out and set up the offense.
And I thought she tried to draw a charge, but I think Kelly Kyle is going to be ticketed for a reach foul, and that's her first. And that is the first Dayton foul in this game, and it comes with 8 minutes into the broadcast. So, 11:59 to go, first half, 24-6, Dayton leads it. Let's finish out Clemson's season so far. 2 games ago, they beat James Madison 69-60. Brown had 11. They had 4 players in double figures. And then Sunday, Clemson, while the Flyers were beating Wright State, Clemson was beating Charleston Southern 75-62. Lloyd, Hood, Wright all with 12 points. Hardy and Davis had 10. And Clemson had only 11 turnovers in that game. Well, tonight, Clemson already with 5 turnovers, and the Flyers have no turnovers. And rebounds is 7-5 Dayton, and again, you can't ask for any more.
No, you really can, and you heard Coach Jaber say in the pregame interview how last year Clemson out-hustled the Flyers down the floor, scored 32 fast break points. Granted, it's still very early in this ball game, just under 12 minutes to go in the first half, but only 2 fast break points so far by Clemson. Dayton doing an excellent job getting back on defense and forcing Clemson to run their offense. Sometimes you get a very athletic team from a conference like the ACC, and they beat teams simply by outrunning them. Well, the Flyers have made it their commitment tonight. They're not going to be out-hustled or outrun down the floor. They're simply going to get back and make Clemson beat them by setting up their offense, and if they can't do it, well, good for the Flyers.
And Clemson plays next home to South Carolina Saturday at 2 o'clock. They start ACC action with a tough assignment January 6th when they will be taking on Maryland. Good luck in that game. So we're about ready to go. And Clemson with the ball, Brown inbounding it, does so to Thomas, and in the lane, misses a shot. Kelly Kyle keeps the ball alive to Kristen Doherty. It's Doherty, Kathy Gwynn, Kiki Lund, Brittany Holterman, and Kelly Kyle for Dayton, up 24-6. We're 8+ minutes into the game. Owen Siri, Barney Sentner with you on 1610 Information Radio and DaytonFlyer.com. Gwynn uses the Kyle screen. Now Kelly gets it. Kyle between the circles. The shot clock is at 10. Doherty shoots top of the key, swishes it again. This is a 2-pointer, but Kristen Doherty is going to have her best game of her career. She's got 13 points. Has she missed a shot? No, she is 4 for 4.
Well, keep feeding her. She has the hot hand. Let her take the shot every time down the floor.
And Lloyd misses from the left side. Weak side rebound. Hood tries for it, but knocks it out of bounds. And now Kendall Ross comes into the lineup for the first time, replacing Kristen Doherty.
That time on the rebound, excuse me there, Barney, it was Kathy Gwynn going up for the board against Lloyd. Bit of a mismatch there, but Gwynn came down with it and had it knocked out of bounds. Excuse me, it was Whitney Hood that knocked it out of bounds.
And Hood's at 6'2", and Kathy Gwynn is at 5'5", as Owen mentioned, the disparity in size. So now KG is played tightly by Morgan Campbell. It's off to Kendall Ross, between the circles to Kyle at the top of the key. Kelly Kyle drives, turnaround shot in the right side of the lane, doesn't go. Ross battles for the rebound, and they're going to say it's off on Clemson.
It was a decent look, but the problem with the shot from Kyle, her shoulders were not square to the basket. She was a little bit angled. Needs to square up before putting up that shot.
So now between the circles, Kendall Ross has the basketball. to Kiki. Underneath for Kyle. She posts. She drives. A beautiful move, but the shot's a little too hard. And the rebound comes down to Thomas.
But a much better look that time.
And now Clemson has numbers on the penetration. Brown loses it to Kiki Lund. And over to Kathy Gwynn. That's the 5th turnover in the game for Clemson. And Dayton still, 10 minutes in the game, has made no turnovers. 0. And now KG dribbles it right to left to Kendall Ross. Ross starts her dribble. Uses a Kyle screen, drives the right lane, puts up a hook, and draws the foul on Stephanie Thomas.
Well, sometimes all you have to do is drive to the basket. The shot might not go down, but a lot of times you'll get bailed out by the foul. That time, Thomas got a little bit too much of Kendall Ross's arm, and she'll go to the free throw line.
So Kendall Ross, 89% at the line this year. And the first one goes in. And now Nikki Oakland does come back in, and coming back in for the Tigers is Kristen Wright. So Dayton is 10 of 15 from the field at 67%. Clemson's 3 of 12 from the field at 25%. Talked about turnovers. Clemson 6, Dayton 0. Rebounds, Dayton 10-6 with the lead. And Ross nails the second free throw, and it is 28-6. Dayton with the lead. And that is not a goof on my part. Right, the shot, good from 15 over Kendall Ross.
Well, somebody lost their mark on that one. Wright was wide open, and she'll knock those down all day if she's left free.
Now Kathy Gwynn has it. And she calls the play, eludes her defender, takes the 10-footer on the right side, gets it in. So KG, who, if you read it on DaytonFlyer.com, has some before-game idiosyncrasies, and one of them is she shaves her legs, and that makes her a lighter player. As Clemson misses yet another shot, so with the 30-8 lead, and she also puts her left sock on and then her right, and her left shoe on and then her right, so those are some of KG's superstitions. And now there's a travel violation inside by Nikki Oakland. So the first turnover comes at 9:38 to go in the first half.
Hey, that's not bad for a team that, is going to average anywhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 20 usually. Only having one in the first 10 minutes is fantastic.
And that's one reason why it's a 32-8 score. And now Wright with the basketball. Drives on Kendall Ross. Draws a double team. Kicks it back out. Shot clock at 10. Brown between the circle. Here is penetration. Great defense by Kiki Lund. Wright on Kendall Ross. There's another charge, and it's again drawn by Nikki Oakland. That's the second time Nikki has splatted on the floor drawing the charge. Wright picks up her first.
Well, that one hurt just a little bit. Oakland kind of holding her side as she's walking down the floor, but Coach Jim Jaber just asked if she's okay. She nods her head. Yes, she's not coming out of this basketball game.
I'm sore, though. My neck hurts a little bit. It'll probably take me to halftime to recover from taking that charge. 30-8, 9 minutes to go in the first half. And the ball is slapped away. Kiki retrieves in the back court. Still 13 on the shot clock. Under 9 minutes to go in the first half. KG calls the play. 8 on the shot clock. KG uses a Kyle screen, drives. 10-foot flip. Spins off. Good look. Didn't go. Rebound to Wright. And we have a double foul. It's going to go on Kyle. That's her second. And it's going to go on Whitney Hood, her first. Did you see what happened there, Owen?
I most certainly did not.
Clemson foul number 25.
That's something you don't see very often. Obviously, they got tangled or they didn't push each other down because nobody hit the floor. I really didn't see much contact as the players kind of breezed by us.
I think as they were running up the floor, judging by the actions of the players on the other end, is maybe an exchange of elbows as they were running back to the defensive end, or at least the defensive end for the Flyers.
It's 8:44 to go in the first half, and it's 30-8, Dayton with the lead. Again, the team is going for a 10-game winning streak if they get this W tonight. Parker with the ball against Kyle, between the circles to Wright, feeds it underneath to Whitney Hood. Her flip in the lane is in and out, and Kelly Kyle comes up with the rebound. Clemson's now 4 of 14 from the field in the game.
Still no offensive rebounds for the Tigers.
And now Kyle has it on the right side, tries to feed underneath, and Dayton commits a turnover. The pass comes right to Wright. Wright breezes past Kathy Gwynn, flips it up wildly, misses it. Good hustle by Kelly Kyle to get the rebound. And now Kiki shoots the open three right side, nails it again. I mean, she's got to be up about 50%, and that's from three-point land. It's 33-8.
Another fast break opportunity for the Flyers. Lund filtered to the right wing and was left open for the tray.
As Dick Enberg would say, oh my, the way this team is playing tonight. Lights out, 12 of 18, 67%. Campbell, meanwhile, connects from the left side for her 4th point. And Clemson finally hits the double-digit mark with 7:30 to go in the first half.
And a little bit of a light press, but just one-on-one, so that will allow Gwynn to bring the ball up without too much difficulty.
Only token pressure by Campbell. And they're going to call a palming violation on KG. And that'll take us to our media timeout. 7:25 to go, first half. Dayton 33, Clemson 10.
Make some noise and win Dayton Flyer mini balls.
And there was one A-10 game today. So the Flyers have the entire A-10 conference to themselves tonight. This afternoon, number 22, George Washington, defeated Loyola Marymount 85-46, shooting 54% from the field. Jessica Adair had 23 points, 10 of 13 from the field. Kim Beck had 16 points, and Sarah Jo Lawrence had 14 points. So when the Flyers play George Washington, I wish that game were here. I wish we could do that game, but it's going to be at George Washington.
Well, George Washington certainly, at least on paper, the best team in the Atlantic 10 Conference. But this Flyers team is making a name for itself with this 9-game winning streak. And you kind of look ahead to that matchup knowing it's going to be a battle, but in the meantime, you still want to see the Flyers take care of games they're supposed to win. And certainly in taking on Clemson tonight, the start that they've had, you'd like to see them keep this up and notch another quality victory to go along with the wins over Cincinnati and Indiana earlier this season.
Other top 20 action, top 25 action, actually this afternoon, number 8 LSU. They were destroying Illinois Chicago at halftime, 45-22. Tonight, number 15 Duke is playing Utah Valley State. Number 24 Oklahoma State's playing at TCU. And this is an interesting matchup. New Mexico beat the Flyers earlier this year. New Mexico is hosting number 4 Stanford tonight. Look forward to getting that score in the morning. Ashley Armstrong coming back in for Dayton. They're going to allow her in, not now. They'll not let her in until the next dead ball, I don't believe. So we'll set the Flyers. Oakland, Lund, Ross, Gwynn, and Kyle. Clemson has the basketball, and they have Brown along with Parker, Davis, Campbell, and Wright. So the ball slapped away by KG, but it comes to Wright, played by Ross on the left side, right in front of the media table where we have our vantage point. It's underneath, and it's a double team on Davis, kicked out to Wright. Wright with the dribble on the weave. Brown has it, goes past KG, shoots a 10-footer, doesn't get it to go, and Wright tries to save the rebound, but she's on the baseline.
Returning for the Flyers,
Armstrong back in for Kiki Lund.
Well, and how about Lund in the short time that she was in there? 2 for 2 from three-point range, already has 6 points. That's making a contribution off the bench.
So now we'll see pressure set up by Clemson. And KG does a beautiful job to break it, breezes all the way down, drives, and puts it in over Campbell and draws the foul. KG with 4 points, Campbell's first foul, and that was no hesitation by Kathy Gwynn.
And what I love about what Gwynn did, when she got across half court, right across the timeline, she eased up for just a split second. The defender then eased up in turn, and as soon as Gwynn saw that, she blew right on by for the layup.
So KG is 68% on the season, and the free throw falls. She gets the three-point play. KG with 5 points. It's 36-10. Dayton with the lead, looking to go 10-2 on the season. Here's Wright driving, is cut off by Kendall Ross. Over to Parker. Parker with the penetration between the circles. It's out to Brown. Brown draws some help, and now the three is taken, and it's missed on the outside, and KG comes up with the rebound. 5-5. And Kathy Gwynn has the rebound. Kendall Ross misses the three on the left side. Brown comes down with the rebound at 5-6. Now Brown has the basketball on the left side. Pulls up to April Parker. It's over to Kirsten Wright. Back over to Campbell between the circles to Wright in front of the Dayton bench. Campbell maneuvers at left side to Brown. Parker underneath 10 on the shot clock. It's stripped away. KG with the steal. She is playing a sensational overall game off the bench, as KG caused turnover number 8 for Clemson. And we have Kirsten Wright, second foul. And Clemson is over the limit, so KG will go to the line. I think, well, may not be KG. We'll see.
Well,
Somebody will go to the line.
No, the ball was loose, and I wasn't sure who they Well, I think it is going to be KG, and you know, you talk about how she was off the bench. 5 points, 2 rebounds. She already has an assist and put a block/steal. I don't know which one you want to credit her with. Probably a steal on that last attempt.
So back at the line. First one doesn't go down. She will have another. So Holterman is in for Kyle. Doherty is in for Ross. They join Armstrong, KG, and Nikki Oakland. A couple scores. Duke 28-12 over Utah Valley State. And KG hits yet another free throw. Dayton is at the free throw line tonight, 7 of 11. And Clemson has not seen the free throw line. So Dayton's up 37-10. And Lloyd drives the lane, puts it up over Holterman, and it's too tall. Rebound is batted out of bounds, off of Clemson.
Well, not only is Clemson not shooting the ball well, they're not rebounding well, and they're not creating the opportunities. They're not taking it strong to the basket. They're settling for a lot of fadeaway jumpers or long jump shots, and when they're not going, there's no one underneath to rebound.
So now KG with the basketball between the circles. 5:45 to go in the first half. Dayton up 37-10. KG starts to drive, uses the Oakland screen on the left side over to Kristen Doherty. She has an air ball from three-point range. What great save by Holterman. And Clemson has committed a foul, and they're irate about it. But I tell you what, that's a play where you don't give up on it. And Brittany Holterman saved it in, and it wound up being the second foul in the game from Campbell.
Well, what Campbell wanted to do was screen Holterman so she could not save the ball from going out of bounds. Holterman went around Campbell. And unfortunately, what ended up happening there is that when Holterman went down, Campbell was whistled for the foul. And quite honestly, I don't think Campbell deserved the foul.
So Brittany is at the line. She is at 60% on the season. And she missed her first one. So one more coming up for Brittany Holterman. And she nails this one. So Brittany has 6 points in the game, and it's 38-10. So Clemson with it, and I think Nikki Oakland got a little bit close, and she's called for a blocking foul, her first, but it's only the third team foul. I mean, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 fouls for Clemson, 3 fouls for Dayton in this game. Quite a disparity.
Well, it is, and like I said, I didn't agree with the call on Campbell, but at the same time, I don't think you can say that Clemson is getting homered because they have honestly committed more fouls than Dayton has.
And they're also down by 28, so it's hard to say that that's why they're losing. Two-person game. Davis inside, posts Oakland, shoots up, it's short. Nikki comes down with yet another rebound. That's rebound number 4 to go along with her 8 points. And KG will set the offense. Clemson playing man-to-man defense. Kathy Gwynn looks for some room, gets it over to Holterman, outside between the circles, back over to KG. Shot clock is down at 10. KG penetrates, uses a Holterman screen. Armstrong travels as she maneuvers to the basket.
Return the game.
Only the 4th Dayton turnover in this game. Let's look at statistics. Dayton is 13 of 21 from the field, 62%. Clemson's 5 of 21 at 24%. Dayton with 18 rebounds, Clemson with 8. Turnovers, Dayton 3, Clemson with 8. And free throw shooting, Dayton 8 of 13. Clemson, they don't know what the free throw line looks like yet in this game. Hardy with it to Brown. Now the open shot is taken by Lloyd, top of the key over Holterman. Rims off. Nikki Oakland again with the rebound. No second chance.
And still, no offensive rebounds for Clemson. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but this is a team that we expected to dominate the boards, and they're down by 11 in the rebounds category.
And by 28 in the game. Just keep saying it. We like that broken record. A hook in the lane by Nikki Oakland. It does not go. The rebound comes down into the hands of Stephanie Thomas. The freshman maneuvers it over to Hardy, Lily Hardy on the right side. It's underneath, drive, and over to Whitney Hood, and she puts it in. Beautiful penetration by Lloyd to get the assist. Hood has 4 points, and it's 38-12. As we're under 4 minutes to go, we'll have a timeout here at the next dead ball. Brittany Holterman needs help with it in the backcourt. Actually, she dribbles behind her back, and she can take all day if she wants. Shot clock's at 15, but now she's into the front court over to Kathy Gwynn. Kathy uses a screen, shoots it up, and swishes it. KG is just outstanding tonight. What more can I say? 8 points. It's 40-12.
Well, Gwynn normally doesn't look for the shot, but she has the hot hand, averaging 3.5 points per game, as you mentioned, already with 8 today.
And now a two-person game, Thomas to Hood, and Thomas takes the shot, and it spins out.
Nice job by Doherty getting position and pulling down the rebound.
So Kristen Doherty picks up her second rebound in this game. Nikki Oakland leads the way with Holterman. They each have 5. Again, 6 seniors. It shows tonight. Clemson has 1 senior, and Dayton leads at 40-12. We're under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Ashley Armstrong drives. She has her pass intercepted, and Brown drives all the way, puts it up over Holterman, and puts it in.
Christy Brown.
Brown first 2 points.
A lot of times you'll see a player on a fast break shy away from the contact. That time Brown didn't. She went straight to the basket and said, hey, if you're going to foul me, foul me. Holterman wisely let the ball go, and a nice fast break layup for Christy Brown.
And as you heard in the pregame show, Clemson has been devastated. 3 players out with season-ending torn ACL, which is very strange. Now Holterman gets it underneath for Oakland. Beautiful assist. Nikki puts it in. She's got 10. It's 42-14. And now Lloyd the other way in the left corner. Shot comes up short. The rebound is tapped out of bounds by Dayton. Clemson will have it. Kiki Lund will come back in, but first we'll have a timeout. 2:17 play, first half. Dayton 42, Clemson 14. And who would have thought, as they play My Sharona in the background, who sings this? Do you know?
No, I'm sorry.
I just know it's called My Sharona. I don't know who sings this. All right, A-10 non-conference records. George Washington winning today. They're 8-3 now. St. Bonaventure is 8-2. And then if you want to look for teams over 500 in the conference, you have Xavier at 6-4, along with Duquesne at 6-4. Then you've got 500. You've got Richmond at 5-5, St. Joseph's at 5-5, Charlotte's at 5-6, UMass is 5-6, Temple surprisingly is 5-6, Rhode Island's 4-6, LaSalle's 3-6, St. Louis is a disappointing 3-7, and Fordham. They're like the St. Louis Rams of football. They're not doing very well. Fordham is 0-10 on the season. Tomorrow, A-10 games will have Albany at Richmond, North Carolina Greensboro at LaSalle, and Canisius at St. Louis. And the A-10 Rookie of the Week, talk about sounding like a broken record earlier, Tashia Phillips, 5th straight honor from Xavier, had her 6th double-double this week, 17 points, 12 rebounds. And in a 9-point win over East Tennessee State.
Well, at this point of the season, you might as well just go ahead and name the award after Phillips, because she's going to have a stranglehold on that for the entire year.
Definitely. A-10 Players of the Week. Kate Mills of UMass had 17 points, 6.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and 2 blocks in games over Villanova, and wins over Villanova and Wagner. And we'll tell you the other A-10 Player of the Week momentarily. They wrestled that honor away from Nikki Oakland, who had won it 2 weeks in a row. We're down to 2 minutes and a half. 42-14 is the Dayton lead. And at the free throw line over Doherty, Hardy swishes the shot. So Lily Hardy gets on the board for the first time in the game, making it 42-16.
Nice recognition by Hardy, realizing she had just enough space to get the shot off and pulling up and hitting it.
Now KG will take it out between the circles. Shot clock is at 20. Dayton in no hurry, nursing a 42-16 lead. Holterman drives, and she actually traveled there. That's Dayton's 6th turnover. Clarkson will be back in. The other A-10 Player of the Week is Sabrina Gregory against Charlotte. And 19 points, 6 assists, 6 steals, 4 rebounds. Good night's work and a win over Virginia Tech. That'll actually be our next broadcast 5 weeks from tonight. Yes, it's a scheduling quirk. January 22nd, A-10 action against against Charlotte. We're not going to move Clemson into the A-10. And now here's a deflection caused by Cloxton. However, it's come up with by Hardy. Back over to Brown. Shot clock's at 10 with 1:20 to go in the first half. Now here's penetration. Here's a force put up very badly, missed by Hardy. And the rebound comes down to Nikki Oakland. To Cloxton, 42-16. Dayton led this game 22-4. Didn't commit a turnover until over 10 minutes to go. And on a give and go, Nikki Oakland from Cloxton, and Dayton is just breaking Clemson down. It's a coach's clinic.
Well, absolutely. That is now 16 points in the paint for the Flyers, and they're allowing Oakland to get inside closer to the basket than the defender, and the lob pass is going over top, and Oakland's just simply catching it and going right back up with it for an easy 2.
And with 50 seconds to go in the half, Parker has it. It's over to Whitney Hood on the right side, guarded by Holterman. To Thomas. Speaking of Thomas, Bill Thomas will join Owen at halftime. Thomas misses. This is not Bill Thomas. But this is Stephanie Thomas misses the right side shot. So the Flyers have an 8 seconds discrepancy in the half, leading 44-16. Cloxton doesn't care about the shot clock. She drives, she puts it in, and she'll go to the line to try to complete the three-point play.
Well, what Cloxton gives you now, with Kathy Gwynn having a great showing off the bench, Cloxton had a little bit extra time to rest, and now she brings a new life to this offense. And as Clemson is getting tired in the final few seconds of the half, Cloxton, who has only played 7 minutes previously in this ball game, can blow right by him for the layup.
And at the free throw line, where she is at 71%, she makes that free throw, and it's 47-16 with 22 seconds to go in the half. Owen, I think you and Bill will be discussing a textbook first half.
Oh, certainly, absolutely. 31-point lead, I think so.
All right, Hardy, 10 seconds to go in the half. Hardy with it on the left side, guarded by Doherty. Hardy with 5 seconds has it slapped away by Lund. It's out of bounds, and it goes to Dayton with 4 seconds to go in the half, 3.8 to be exact. And we have a quick 20-second timeout by Coach Jabers. He's going to put Kathy Gwynn back into the Dayton lineup.
Well, with 3.8 seconds left, there's not a whole lot you can do, but the plan probably get the ball to Kathy Gwynn and let her race down the floor as far as she can before putting up a shot. And, you know, with her speed, she can certainly get to the free throw line or so before having to put up the jumper and maybe make this, you know, get to 49, or if she elects to put up a three and can happen to hit it, maybe score 50 points in the first half.
Kathy Gwynn's good at buzzer beaters. She, of course, had the buzzer beater victories last year over Akron and St. Joseph's. And she hit a half-court shot last year in the inter-squad scrimmage. So 3.8 to go in the first half. Toledo and Detroit in the Mid-American Conference are 23-23 in women's play tonight. It's into KG. KG at 2. KG blows past Clemson and lays it in at the buzzer. And that was great hustle, and that was also, I will just say this, horrible defense by Clemson.
Well, it really was, and maybe I underestimated the speed of Kathy Gwynn. I thought she could get to the free throw line before putting up a shot. She got all the way into the paint and had an easy layup as Clemson just let her go right by. And Coach Christy McKinney is not going to be happy with that defense to win the first half.
Yeah, what else can I say? Olé, that was Matador defense. I mean, perfect first half. I don't know if Coach Jaber needs to say anything at halftime. She can't do it any better. Anyway, I'm going to let you and Bill talk about that. I'm going to go find a hot dog stand, I think. 49-16. Take it away, Owen.
Well, it certainly was an enjoyable first half, maybe an unexpected first half, and again, not to take anything away from this Flyers team, but really you want to give more credit to Clemson playing in the ACC. Bill, there's certainly no way that you could expect, or anyone could expect, that the Flyers would have a 33-point halftime lead on the Clemson Tigers.
Well, and let alone, I mean, the fact that it seems like all facets of the game are working really well for the Flyers right now. Defensively, only allowing 16 points in the first half. I mean, you know, anytime you do that, I think you're going to be in pretty good shape. But when you put up 49 points on the offensive end, that's going to work really well also. And you can see really the Flyers are doing it basically the same way that they did it last year down there, where they nearly defeated the Clemson Tigers by really trying to pound the ball inside. Clemson really likes to overplay the post players, especially Nikki Oakland. And Nikki, you know, she's a six-foot player, but she plays like she's about 3 or 4 inches taller than she really is, because her arms are just so long. And that's something that, you know, hopefully the fans will get a chance to come out here to UD Arena as this team plays throughout the season to get a chance to see this team with six seniors come out and play. And Nikki's really one of the best of those 6, because she uses all of her different abilities, and one of those is just being able to lob the ball into Nikki. And, you know, 12 points, 6 boards in the first half, 5 of 6 from the field. It really is because they're overplaying her on the front side, trying to front her, trying to deny her the ball. They're throwing it right over the top, and we've seen that time and time again so far this year. But 10 points from Kristen Doherty, 10 points from Kathy Gwynn, including that last-second shot there. 6 points each from Brittany Holterman, and a pair of trays from Kiki Lund for 6 points as well. 3 points for Kara Cloxton and 2 points for Kendall Ross. So the Flyers, 49 points here in the first half. You know, I would have to do a little bit of looking, but it's going to be quite some time that the Flyers have scored 49 points in a half.
Oh, absolutely. A tremendous first half, and as Barney said before he turned the headset over to you, what could Coach Jaber possibly have to say in the locker room? I'm sure there's certain things that he sees, but from the fans' vantage point and the broadcaster's vantage point, it was as close to a perfect first half as you're going to see at this level.
Well, and I think the most important thing that if you're a coach right now you can say is you have to realize there's a reason why you got to this point. There's a reason why you're up 49-16, and that has to be the same reason why you come out to play in the second half.
Right.
So if the Flyers come out and start doing things differently, there's no reason why Clemson can't score 49 points in the second half. They're a very athletic team that can get to the basket, get themselves to the free throw line, which was surprisingly enough, the Flyers, held Clemson to 16 points, 27% shooting in the first half, but didn't give up a free throw to the Clemson Tigers, and that was really the most surprising thing from a defensive standpoint. We've seen the Flyers so far this year. They rank third in the conference in scoring defense or points allowed to the opponents, the third best in the Atlantic 10 Conference so far this year, and they've done it without really fouling the other team, and that's really to their benefit because when you get some of the post players of Dayton, such as Oakland or Kelly Kyle, into foul trouble, Kelly Kyle the only one really so far with Dayton in foul trouble, 2 fouls for her in the first 20 minutes of play. When you get those kind of players in foul trouble, then it becomes a totally different ball game. Right. You take away that post presence, the Flyers maybe have to go to a little bit of a zone defense, which they're not very good at. They don't really like to do. They play really more of a man-to-man kind of a style of defense. So when you have to start changing things like that, then it becomes anybody's ball game. And we have Clemson. We haven't seen a whole lot of their three-point shooters yet, but Wright and Thomas really have the opportunity to do something for them in the second half for the three-point range. Take a look at the Clemson side. They, as we said, only 16 points for them. 4 points for Hood, 4 points for Campbell, and then a pair of points for Brown, Hardy, Parker, and Wright. So just 8 of 29 for the field for Clemson, while the Dayton Flyers were 18 of 27. That's 67% for the field. Also 4 of 6 from beyond the arc for the Dayton Flyers. One interesting thing I did see, though, is just 9 of 14 from the free throw stripe for Dayton, so they could be up by even just a little bit more if they focus a little bit more on the free throw line. But I think some of that has to do with the frantic style the Flyers play, both defensively and offensively. They're really trying to push the ball. Sometimes I think they might be getting a little gassed when they get to the free throw line, so that might have something to do with it, maybe some conditioning there. As they get a little time here to work their way back into things. They had a week off for finals, played Sunday, then play again today. So, that if you're going to find negative in the first half, it was definitely the free throw shooting for the Flyers.
Well, there's certainly a lot of positives. We've talked a lot about the rebounding advantage. 22 boards for the Flyers, just 10 for Clemson. Clemson did finally get one offensive rebound, and that only came because the Dayton Flyer knocked the basketball out of bounds. And that, to me, is the most impressive thing, to keep the Tigers off the offensive glass. I know that sounds funny to say, but keep them from getting those second chance opportunities. They have, just 2 second chance points, and they have just 2 fast break points after having 32 fast break points on the Flyers last year.
Well, Owen, basically, to put this into other terms, if you were playing football, you'd probably put yourself into a little bit of a prevent defense right now. If you're in baseball, you'd be guarding the lines and really try to force the other team to beat you right now. And that's really what the Flyers have to do. So if you box out, keep Clemson off of their offensive glass, hold them to only 1 shot every time down the court, chances are they're not going to make every one of those shots, and hopefully you can hold on here to a 49-16 win at half or lead at halftime.
Sure, and like you said earlier, you don't want to sit on the ball and just drain the clock, but at the same time, you don't need to rush down the floor and put up a shot when there's still 25 seconds left on the shot clock. All the while still playing your style of basketball. What gave you the 33-point lead in the first half is going to give you a 33-point victory or somewhere in that neighborhood in the second half, as long as you keep the pressure on and don't fall back and relax thinking, we have this game wrapped up. Clemson, I'm sure, is used to playing a full 40 minutes against teams like Duke and North Carolina and some of the other top programs in the ACC, and I'll bet just about anything that Christy McKinney is ripping her team in the locker room, and they're going to come out wanting to prove something to their coach, number one, but also prove something to themselves, that they're not going to roll over and die in the second half.
Well, and last year they didn't give up against anybody in the ACC, so there's no reason they're going to give up a team from the Atlantic 10 Conference here in the Dayton Flyers. And, it's very interesting to see this kind of a result in the first half, because this is really where the Flyers want to be, because in many ways the Clemson and Dayton programs are very similar to each other. You have a coach at Christy McKinney down at Clemson who's came in over the last 4 or 5 years, really trying to rebuild this program the same way that Jim Jaber did. Coach Jaber coming from the Providence, and before that the Marquette ranks, some of the better teams in the Big East in women's basketball ranks. And then Christy McKinney coming in from Rice, where pretty much if she didn't win 20 games, it was considered a disappointment because that's how good of a job she did down there. And former Flyer assistant coach Greg Williams now down at his alma mater filling in for Christy McKinney after she left, and he's done a great job down there trying to fight through some of the injury bug. And then you take a look at some of the fact of, Clemson's got a lot of young players right now, a lot of very talented players right now. They're learning how to win on the road the same way the Flyers have done over the past couple years. So I can see probably in the next 2 or 3 years Clemson putting together a run of 8, 9, 10 wins in a row the same way the Flyers have done this year.
Well, certainly the key is to develop the young players, and right now the senior Dayton Flyer squad leading 49-16, 6.5 minutes still left on the halftime clock. Now, leaving the arena for a minute and talking about UD as a whole, students have finished up final exams, and they are home for the Christmas holidays. I guess with some schools, those final exam times for student athletes become a bit of a nervous time, but as I take a look at what you handed out earlier today, the academic services for student athletes, that's not really a problem for UD student athletes, is it?
No, and that's one of the great comparisons. If you take a look at some of the Clemson game notes, Christy McKinney had a 100% graduation rate with her student athletes at Rice on the basketball team, and Clemson had the same here, so she really stresses academics the same way that Coach Jaber does. The Flyer women's basketball team, one of the better teams in the Atlantic 10 Conference in terms of graduation rate, and the UD athletes as a whole, one of the top 15 or 20 programs in the country year after year after year in terms of graduation rate, in terms of academic progress rates, and it really shows that most of the teams actually make a competition out of it. They'll take their assistant coaches, 2 or 3 assistant coaches, break up the players on the team. They'll have competitions amongst each other to see who can improve upon their GPA from the previous semester the most, and they kind of take it from there. So there's a great academic support services staff here at University of Dayton, both for the athletes and for the general student population as well. So it's great to see when you use the name of student athlete here at the University of Dayton, it's not with a chuckle behind it by any means. These players do a great job of really focusing on their academics during their off season, trying to do as much as they can to get ahead. A lot of these basketball players come and stay over the summer to try to get ahead with their busy travel times during the fall and spring semesters. So it's good to see all that hard work pay off.
And 2 players in particular we want to point out, this coming from the football field. Seniors Brandon Kramer and Brian Kelly, 2007 Football Championship Subdivision Athletics Directors Association Academic All-Star Team. It's a mouthful to say, but it's quite an honor for Brandon Kramer and Brian Kelly, just one of a number of Flyers student athletes that are being recognized in whatever sport it may be.
Well, and expand on Brandon Kramer a little bit farther, he was a finalist for the Dratty Trophy, which is, in all intents and purposes, the academic Heisman for Division I, II, and III players. He won an $18,000 postgraduate scholarship that he'll be using to go to medical school at Ohio State next year. And we're really proud about the fact that he's able to be recognized for his academic accolades as well as a great year for the national championship Flyer football team.
Well, it's certainly been an outstanding sports years for the Flyers, pretty much all the way around so far, with the success of the volleyball team we talked about last week when I was up here. The men's and women's basketball team right now are doing an excellent job. Of course, the men's Flyers team with a big road victory last weekend over Louisville, and then following that up by just dismantling Coppin State this past weekend. So they're playing well. All in all, when you include every sport that has taken place so far this season, this is one of the better sports years that I can remember for the Dayton Flyers.
Well, and it's really because there's been a lot of kids who have struggled over the past couple of years, trying to translate their talent into wins. The Flyers have always worked hard over the past couple of years. They've done their job in the classroom and out in the community, but it hasn't translated into as many wins as people would like. And, it's finally starting to turn into that favor this year. And, eventually you knew it was going to have to turn around. It's just amazing to see it happen to this extent with a women's and men's soccer team, but they'll finish in the top half of their conference. a volleyball team that was one of the top teams in the country, football team, national championship team, and a men's basketball team that now is in the top 10 in the RPI.
Right.
This women's basketball team right now, they've got a long way to go yet, but if they can hold on here to a 49-16 halftime lead, they'll have won 10 in a row. They've got a couple games that are pretty winnable for them going into conference play. They could have 14 wins going into conference, and we could be talking about, even with a 500 conference season, getting to 20 wins, which is amazing for this program, considering that Coach Jaber just 5 years ago came into a 3-25 team his first year here. So that's quite a turnaround.
It certainly is. And for those that are maybe unfamiliar with women's college basketball, tuning in and listening maybe for the first time, the Flyers, obviously a great record in the early season. A victory today over Clemson combined with the wins over Indiana and Cincinnati. When can we start to see this team maybe moving into the top 25 polls?
I think it's really going to have to, see the team get into Atlantic 10 Conference, because the Atlantic 10 Conference is one of the top women's basketball conferences in the country. They're 8th right now in the RPI. A little bit of a struggle for them right now in the non-conference. Some of the big dogs have lost some games they really shouldn't have, to be honest. So they'll kind of see if they can slide their way up here just a little bit. But, if the Flyers finish 4th, 5th, maybe 6th, but if you finish in the top 5 of the Atlantic 10 Conference, you're going to go to the postseason, either in the women's NIT or the NCAA. For the past 2 years, the A-10 sent 5 teams to the postseason. Every year since 2002, they've sent at least 4 teams to the postseason. So this is a multi-bid conference on the women's side, and we'll have to see here, with a win against an ACC opponent, if that's going to be enough to give them some bump here come March time. But, right now it's December, and we've got 20 minutes of basketball here to play with the Flyers on top, 49-16.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. Halftime is winding down, so we will take one more look at the stats. Dayton up 49-16 over Clemson as the final few seconds tick off at halftime. Leading scorer for the Flyers in the first half was Nikki Oakland. She had 12. Kristen Doherty and Kathy Gwynn each with 10. Kiki Lund, Brittany Holderman had 6 apiece. 3 points for Kara Clarkson and 2 points for Kendall Ross. 18 of 27 from the field, 66.7% for the Flyers. For the Clemson Tigers, they managed 16 points as a team. They were led by Whitney Hood and Morgan Campbell with 4 points apiece. Kirsten Wright had 2, Christy Brown, April Parker, and Lily Hardy with 2 points apiece as well. 8 of 29 from the field, 27.6%. 0 of 3 from three-point range, and they did not attempt a free throw. 49-16, Flyers with the lead as we start the second half. Back with the play-by-play, here's Barney Center.
All right, Kristen Doherty inbounds in front of us. Couple men's scores. At the half, Kansas is beating Georgia Tech 36-29. In the second half, Texas beating Oral Roberts 51-46. And more of the same. Kara Clarkson drives the lane. Nobody picks her up. She puts it in. She has 5, and it's 51-16.
Well, when your defender falls down, take it to the basket. That's what Clarkson did.
And Parker, a hook up over Oakland, no good. She battles for the rebound, but Ashley Armstrong is able to come up with it in a crowd.
Nice job by Armstrong crashing the boards. Not usually a person in there getting the rebound, so that time she saw it hit the floor, went and pulled it down.
And Brittany Holterman with her back to the basket, over to Armstrong. Outside the three-point stripe to Kristen Doherty. To Armstrong, shot clock's under 10. It's dumped underneath for Nikki Oakland. Head fake in the lane, draws 2 defenders, hooks up, and no good. Lily Hardy comes down with the Clemson rebound. Hardy now between the circles, over to Brown. Now out top to the key, Parker underneath for Lloyd. Shoots it up, a floater doesn't go. Oakland comes down with yet another rebound. That's Nikki's 7th in the game. And now Clarkson will set it up. Carey uses a Nikki Oakland pick off to Doherty on the left side. Now Kristen maneuvers to the right and pass is slapped away. Clemson comes up with a turnover, but Ashley Armstrong makes the steal and is fouled by Lloyd. That's her second. We want to welcome our 1610 Information Radio audience back. We had some sort of a computer fizz out, and that's why Norm Shrine is here, thank goodness. So we lost part of the first half. I don't exactly know when. But we're back on now, and we have been on DaytonFlyer.com the entire game. So it's 51-16. So when the 1610 audience left us, it was basically more of the same. Now Claxton shoots the 10-footer, and it's swished in from the left side. So she's got 7 points. So Dayton is now shooting 66% from the field in this game.
7 from Cloxton, 10 from Gwynn. I'd say the Flyers are getting excellent production from the point guard position.
And now Parker misses a shot. Lloyd taps at it, but it comes down to Nikki Oakland. That's rebound number 8 to go along with her 12 points. She leads the way in a balanced attack. Driving is Cloxton in the lane. She doesn't get it to go this time. Lloyd comes up with the rebound. Hardy between the circles to Lloyd. Underneath Parker. Turnaround over Oakland. Spins off. Knocked out of bounds. And it will be Dayton ball. I didn't get to hear your halftime talk with Bill, and I'm not sure our 1610 audience did either. I imagine Bill said that's the best half of basketball he's seen.
Yeah, he said he was going to have to go back and check the record books to see the last time the Flyers scored 49 points in a half, if it's ever been done before.
Yes, I have the media guide, so some point we'll see if I can try to look that up. Or you can try to look that up. I'll stall for you here as Kara Cloxton has the basketball between the circles. She toots the right foot, or 10-foot shot from the right side, doesn't go, but no block out. Holterman puts it back in, and Brittany's got 8, and it's now 55-16. Utah is winning at the half. Duke is beating Utah Valley State at the half 44-28. TCU's beating Oklahoma in the first half. That'd be an upset if it would hold up, but it's only 16-12. Here it's Dayton 55, Clemson 16. The 3 by Hardy doesn't go on the outside of the 3-point line. And Nikki Oakland yet another rebound in transition to Cloxton. Quickly over to Armstrong right side. She drives and she goes up and she got fouled. Campbell hammered her, and Morgan Campbell picks up her 3rd foul. So Armstrong is a 78% free throw shooter. We'll see what she can do.
Well, this is exactly what you wanted to see from the Flyers, coming out in the second half with the same intensity that they ended the first half, and we've seen exactly that.
So Kathy Gwynn will come back in for Dayton momentarily. Armstrong switches the first free throw, so that puts Dayton at the line now 10 of 15. Wright is back in. Talk about Dayton's next game, and that's going to be Friday, and it's going to be an unusual game. It's at Eastern Michigan. It's in Ypsilanti, and it's part of an education day for Eastern Michigan as Armstrong makes the second free throw, so that makes the score 57-16. The game is at noon on Friday, so that's what makes it unique. And the game will actually be broadcast on Eastern Michigan student station, WEMU, and I'll tell you more about it in a moment as Davis drives, doesn't get the shot to fall, and 5'5" Kathy Gwynn, the spark plug, comes up with the rebound, pass up court, Holterman lays it in with a great assist from KG. So Holterman has hit 10 points, and it's 59-16. The lead grows to, if I do my math right, 43 points.
And again, simply beating the opponent down the floor. Holterman beat all defenders, and Gwynn looked up, saw her. Nice lob pass over the defense.
Hood with the basketball. It's over to Brown on the right side. Brown pulls up. Shot clock is under 10. Clemson can't get any offensive flow going. And now here's penetration. A little bit of a push off by Wright. She gets away with it. Finds an open Davis underneath for her first 2 points. And it makes it 59-18. As Holterman will bring it up. We have Holterman, Oakland, Gwynn, along with Armstrong in the lineup, and Kristen Doherty. And she has her pass knocked away by Wright, but it comes right to Nikki Oakland. She's double teamed. She has it slapped away, so that will be turnover only number 8 for Dayton in this game. Wright, meanwhile, goes coast to coast, forces a bad shot up and double team, missed it. Ball's loose on the floor, and it's kicked over to Ashley Armstrong. She doesn't have numbers, and she has the pass slapped away by Campbell. Good steal for Clemson. And we'll see if they can take advantage of it. Going 1-on-2 Brown. A pass goes right to Kristen Doherty, and now the game has gotten very, very sloppy.
Yeah, right now Clemson's out of control.
And on the fast break, Kristen Doherty's layup doesn't go, and Hood comes down with the rebound. Lund, Ross, Kyle all come in for Dayton here momentarily. As Campbell has it, it's turned into a playground-type game with Dayton up 59-18, under 15 minutes to play in this game. Hood shoots the 3 right wing, got it.
3-point basket.
So that's the first 3-pointer from a team that shoots 27% from 3-point land. They are 1 of 5 in this game. Yes, Dayton comes into the game shooting 42% from the field on the season, and they're really going to make that go up at this point tonight at 63%. Kristen Doherty to Oakland, back to the basket, double teamed, off to Holterman, slapped away. And we have, I think, a foul on Holterman, and that is her first. Talking about Eastern Michigan, if you Friday go to www.emueagles.com, you can hear the broadcast of the game. Eastern Michigan is 5-4. They have wins over Detroit, Alabama, Florida International. They beat Wright State by 33 points. And they also beat Temple Baptist 108-22. Eastern Michigan has losses against Weber State, Illinois State, Florida Atlantic, and they lost to North Carolina State by 22. This is the first meeting of the two teams since 2002, when Dayton won 73-68. Its first-year coach, Anne Marie Gilbert. She was an 8-year head coach at Oberlin. Last 5 years, an assistant coach at Michigan State. And Eastern Michigan has 2 players in double figures. Alyssa Pittman averages 18 a game, and a young lady by the name of Korea Williams averages 11-6. So again, that's Dayton's next game. It's at noon Friday at Eastern Michigan. Then comes the Flyer Classic, and at some point here in the second half, we'll tell you what that field looks like. And again, after those 2 games, there's a road game at St. Francis, Pennsylvania. Then the conference starts, and it is certainly conceivable that when the conference starts, and I think the conference starts at LaSalle, yes, on January the conference starts against Temple on January 12th. Flyers could be looking at a 14-game winning streak.
Let's hope so.
And we'll let you know how that Flyer Classic field will look here momentarily. Now we're back into play. We're not having to compete with the loud rock music. 14:25 to go, 59-21 Dayton. It's underneath, and there's a great tie-up caused by Kathy Gwynn. But they're going to call her for the foul, and that's her first.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether she got all ball or a little bit of the hand. Apparently the officials thought she got the hand. It might have been a good call. I'm not questioning their judgment on that one, but it will send Davis to the line for free throws, and the first time Clemson's at the line for free throws today.
44%. Davis has struggled, and she does get the bounce on the first one. That gives her 3 points. Her mother played basketball 3 years at Fort Valley State University in Fort Valley, Georgia. Like mother, like daughter, playing basketball. Second free throw's missed. Lily Hardy goes up with the shot, has it deflected out of bounds by Kelly Kyle.
And I'm trying to think back over like the segments of this game. I can't think of one 3 or 4 minute segment where Clemson has even won that part. Dayton is simply dominating this basketball game.
And Clemson misses a shot on the inbound, and a good rebound by Kelly Kyle, and she is, well, actually they say that Lloyd tied Kyle up, so Clemson gets it on the alternating possession.
A nice job by Lloyd not giving up on it, staying in there, fighting the basketball away, and Clemson will get another look.
Down 59-22. And with the basketball is Hardy on the left side between the circles. The pass goes to Campbell, guarded by Kiki Lund. Over to Lloyd. And now here's penetration on the baseline. A wild shot over her head is missed by Hardy, but the putback is good for Davis, giving her 5 points, and it's 59-24.
Well, Clemson doing a little bit better job here in the second half of crashing the boards. They now have 6 rebounds already here in the second half, only 10 in the first half.
And we have 13:40 to go, and the clock rolls as Kendall Ross has the basketball. She maneuvers it right side to Kiki. And she draws the foul on Campbell. And that's her 4th foul. Well, I had her 4th, so it's her 3rd foul, and that is the team's 3rd foul this half. So Kendall Ross will key it in. If you read some of the articles on DaytonFlyer.com about the student manager writing, says that Kendall Ross does not exactly excel at singing Christmas carols, but she's very good at doing rap. And I don't mean wrapping Christmas presents, I mean doing rap music. So now the rapper gets it over to KG on the right side. Kathy Gwynn is at the free throw line. Back over to Ross, a little head fake on the right side, penetrates out to KG. She takes the 3, and it comes up short. The rebound comes down to the hands of Lily Hardy. 13 minutes to go, it's 59-24 Dayton. They led 49-16 at the half. Penetration, Campbell misses a shot, and a good hustle rebound from Kendall Ross, who got poked in the nose. She wipes it off. Kathy Gwynn will set the play. Now Dayton has to maintain its intensity, and when you have a lead of 35 points, sometimes that may be difficult to do, as KG slipped on the floor and Coach Jaber calls time out.
Well, that's good coaching right there. He saw that his point guard was in trouble. She fell down, couldn't keep the dribble alive, so Jaber right there called timeout and saved 16 seconds on the shot clock, for which the Flyers can run a play and try and get a decent look at the basket.
Okay, I am team records, page 100. I'm speaking out loud because I'm trying to single game marks.
I found the single most points in a game, and they were all over 100 points. I could not find a category for most points and a half in the book. So 49 has to be close, because obviously if the most points in a game is somewhere in the neighborhood of 111, you got to figure, equal halves, somewhere between 50, 60 points and a half would be the mark for that.
Yes, you're right. Now, I will say this. The team, we can pretty much say this is going to happen. This will be the 10th victory in a row, and they are really starting to sail on some of these winning streaks. The team won 11 in a row in 1984. They won 12 in a row in 1983. They won 13 in a row on 3 occasions, 78, 79, and 86. Then you got 15 in a row in 1978, the longest winning streak ever, 1980, when there was 18 straight victories. But again, we're going back in the mid-80s here, and we're in 2007, soon to be 2008, so we're talking a whole new era of Dayton Flyer basketball.
Sure, as sad as this sounds, most of those winning streaks were before I was even alive.
Oh, well, I was alive, I will say that, and actually I had just graduated from college, so that shows my age. So, play is back in as my beard continues to grow at this moment. KG has it. There's only 5 on the shot clock. KG penetrates. Might have a violation, but she's able to draw a double team, and she missed the shot. Did get it off in time. 12:20 to go in the game. Clemson trails 59-24. Campbell has it. She shoots the 2-pointer, and it is coming up short. Good defense by Kelly Kyle out high. Kathy Gwynn has it on the left side. Cross-court pass, Kiki Lund. She issues the 3 underneath Holterman, draws a double team, puts it in. So Brittany has 12.
Nice job by Holterman again. With the pump fake, got the defender up in the air. When she started to come down, that's when Holterman went up.
So Campbell with it, 61-24. So Dayton this half 12-8 is leading Clemson in the first 8 minutes of the half. Kelly Kyle stuffs Whitney Hood. The ball goes out of bounds and will stop the game for immediate timeout, as Brown is coming back in. So let's take a look here at the Flyer Classic. The dates are December 29th and 30th. The way this works is on December 29th at 12:30, Central Michigan will play Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Cornell will play Dayton at 2:30. The consolation game is Sunday, December 30th at 1. The championship game is at 3 o'clock. Both Dayton games will be on 1290 WHIO at 12 with Tom Michaels and Monica West. Here's how that field looks so far. Dayton plays Cornell. Cornell's 3-3. Cornell is playing Colgate tonight. Cornell lost a game by 41 points earlier this year to West Virginia, and they lost by 16 to Bowling Green. The other game will feature 2 teams right now that are 3-7. Texas A&M Corpus Christi, they play at Baylor tomorrow night. That will be tough. They lost by 47 against Texas earlier this year. Central Michigan lost by 4 points to Northwestern. That's a team that beat Dayton in the opening game of the season. Central Michigan lost to Temple by 38. And last night, Central Michigan was at Cincinnati, and they lost to the Bearcats 82-69. Of course, the Flyers defeated the Bearcats earlier this year. So there's an early look at the first ever Flyer Classic coming up the weekend before Christmas and New Year.
And again, on paper, the Flyers should win that tournament, as you always should win your home or your host tournament. But that Central Michigan team's a team that could give them some trouble. Played UC fairly tough the other night. Again, though, you'd like to see the Flyers just take care of business on their home floor.
I guess one exception was Dartmouth last year in their own tournament that Dayton was in. Dartmouth had Duke in it, so that obviously didn't work out for them. Lloyd misses a shot in the lane, and Holterman comes down yet with another rebound. That's her 8th in the game. Nikki Oakland has 11, and we have, I don't know what, we have a Clemson foul on the other end of the court, a blocking foul, it's on Whitney Hood.
Yeah, it is going to be on Whitney Hood. What she did when Nikki Oakland went up for the rebound, or not Oakland, excuse me, Kyle went up for the rebound, she undercut the legs, and you certainly can't do that. That's a big injury risk.
And now Kendall Ross, here's a 3 by Kiki over Hardy. It comes up short. The rebound comes down into the hands of Christy Brown. It's over to Lloyd. She drives on Holterman, puts it up, doesn't go, but Lloyd will go to the free throw line. And the block foul is called on Kelly Kyle. That is her third foul. Lloyd was the Clemson leading scorer last year at 14.4 a game. That was 12th in the ACC. She had a 16-game stretch of double-digit scoring. Lloyd is at a 75% free throw shooter. So Clemson is 1 of 2 at the line tonight. And Lloyd takes her time, and it's a high arcing shot that misses.
Well, and we talked about Lloyd at the beginning of the game being the leading scorer for Clemson at 11.3, and Zippo thus far.
Ashley Brown to make her first appearance for Dayton. Lloyd makes the free throw. Ashley Brown, 6-foot junior, who averages about 2 a game, replaces Brittany Holterman. Here's a pass into Kiki Lund, into the front court. 11:18 to go. Dayton 61, Clemson 25. Kiki Lund outside the three-point stripe to Ashley Brown. Underneath the Kelly Kyle post, draws a double team. Hook shot doesn't go. Tries for the rebound. Brown keeps it alive, and she missed the shot. Keeps it alive again, but knocks it out of bounds.
Oh, nice job by Ashley Brown. Just checked into the ball game and already making an impact. Fighting for the basketball underneath and getting a look. Did not get it to fall down, but you still like that hustle from someone who doesn't play a large number of minutes in a basketball game.
Should get some minutes in this second half. Hood draws the double team, and now it is kicked out to Brown, and it actually goes off of one of the officials. And for Clemson, that's turnover number 12. And it's interesting, at one point the Flyers had no turnovers 10 minutes into the game, and now the turnover battle is about square. It's about the only thing that's close in this game. 64-25, Brown underneath, posting is Kyle. Hook shot in the lane, banks it up, and a little too hard, but Kendall Ross tries to keep it alive. It comes to Lily Hardy. Here come the Tigers going to our right.
Well, Kyle just can't get the basket to fall in. She has a couple of good looks, but 0 for 5 from the field.
Right drives and has it kicked off her knee. Let's take a look at stats. Flyers are still shooting over 50%. They're at 54 on the game. And 24% from the field for Clemson. Rebounds 35-21. Dayton is demolishing. Dayton 11 of 16 at the line to 2 of 4 for Clemson. And free throws, let's see, we told you that. 3-pointers, 4 of 8 for Dayton, 1 of 5 for Clemson. And now here's penetration. Kathy Gwynn drives, scores, and she'll go to the line to complete the three-point play. KG has 12.
Well, just doing an excellent job. She realizes that she can beat this defense, and she's taking advantage, driving right on by the orange jerseys and taking it strong to the basket for someone that just stands at 5'5". She's playing a lot bigger than that tonight.
And KG connects and makes the three-point play come true. Jasmine Tate, freshman from Birmingham, Alabama, is in the lineup. KG has 13. Right with it. Underneath, takes the return feed from Whitney Hood. Now the shot clock's at 16. Game clock is at 10. The shot in the lane by Hood is missed. The putback is missed by Tate, but she'll go to the line because we have a Flyer foul, which is on Ashley Brown, and that is her first. So Tate is at the free throw line. She was named to the All-Alabama High School second team in 2007. She had 1,007 career rebounds in high school, and her sister is a junior on the St. John's team.
For the Flyers,
so we're going to see Andrea Lindsay replacing Kathy Gwynn. Andrea Lindsay, 5'5" sophomore, averages 3 points a game. The free throw was missed by Tate. And she missed a pair, but coming up with the rebound is Lily Hardy in traffic, shoots it up over Kyle and banks it in.
Basket by Lily Hardy.
She's got 4 at 64-27, Dayton with the lead. Now Lindsay, a pass up court to a trailing Kendall Ross, and she puts it in. That's what they call a little bit of cherry picking. You get past the defense and you get the easy basket.
Well, sometimes if the defense doesn't realize you're back there, go ahead and slide on back and get the easy look.
66-27, 9:20 to go, and another Clemson turnover, their 14th of the night. Lindsay drives past 2 defenders, and she gets it in.
Well, Lindsay created a turnover on the defensive end by getting her hand on the basketball, gets rewarded on the offensive end with the layup.
Here's Brown driving. She draws a double team, and Lindsay will pick up her first foul. I tell you what, Owen, we are going to, I mean, we could give it to the whole team, but our Norm Shrine player of the game, we're going to have to think about this. I mean, we got a ways to go, but I know who I would vote for right now, so start thinking about that, because we have a lot of worthy candidates. But we want to pick one player, and we shall see. Oklahoma now leading TCU in the second half, 37-35, as Clemson misses a shot inside. We have 9 minutes to go. Dayton's up 68-27, so the margin is 41. It was 33 at the half. So now Kendall Ross has it on the left side. Draws a double team over to Lindsay in the left corner. One bounce, telegraphed pass, knocked away, but Ashley Brown is able to come up with it. And Brown plays some good defense and knocks it out of bounds with 11 seconds on the shot clock. So Kiki Lund will be replaced by Ashley Armstrong right now. 8:48 to play. Again in the first half, Dayton breezed out to a 22-4 lead. They didn't commit their first turnover until 9:38 to go in the half. And at halftime, it was the surprising score of 49-16. And now Armstrong drives back out to Lindsay. 3 seconds on the shot clock. She traveled, no call, and she puts it in. 4 points. Dayton up 70-27.
Nice use of the left hand on the floater in the lane from Lindsay.
Lindsay sporting, looks like a cumbersome knee brace on her left leg. Doesn't look like it impedes her, though, whatsoever. Lindsay plays Brown. Brown shoots the three-pointer over her. No go. Tate comes up with the rebound, and she got hammered.
And I believe that's going to be the second foul on Ashley Brown. So the Flyers committing a few more fouls here in the second half than they did in the first half. And Clemson playing a little bit stronger, maybe pulling down a few more rebounds. But it is still a 43-point lead for Dayton. So that matches the largest lead of the game. So the point differential staying right where it should be.
And the free throw by Tate. No good. This free throw is good. So she splits. She's now 1 of 4 at the line, and it's 70-28 with 8:15 and counting. Armstrong between the circles, over to Kendall Ross, out to Brown at the top of the key, and now a pass is taken by Lindsay, and she is fouled by Christy Brown, not to be confused with Ashley Brown of Dayton.
Well, you can't argue with the hustle from Christy Brown. She thought she had the steal. She went for the steal. Got a little bit of the body, but I still like the aggressive play by Christy Brown of Clemson.
And now Lindsay in front of the Dayton bench, underneath for Kendall Ross, and she'll go to the line because going up for the shot, she got hacked. And that foul is on Stephanie Thomas. Her second foul, and we have a immediate timeout. 7:58 to play, 70-28. Dayton with the lead. Did want to mention, as I talk over the t-shirt toss here, that if you have any comments about the broadcast or anything dealing with the University of Dayton Athletics, you can send an email. The email address is flyervoice@notes.udayton.edu. I'll give that to you again. flyervoice@notes.udayton.edu. And we would like to appreciate the sponsors, car dealerships, auto dealerships, providing vehicles for a member of the Flyer coaching staff. They include White Allen, Heidi Honda, O. Thompson Ford, Bob Ross Mercedes-Benz, Saturn of Dayton, Sarah Chevrolet, Walker Auto Group, and the Mayberry Van and Storage. All right, get ready to get back in here again. WHIO will actually have the next broadcast of the next 3 home games, that Flyer Classic, December 29th and 30th. And as they say, 655 people are here tonight. WHIO will also do the Temple game on Saturday afternoon, January the 12th at 2 o'clock. And then we will do the next game, which is on Tuesday, January 22nd against Charlotte, 5 weeks from tonight. So don't forget about us. The Flyer men's team is home tomorrow night, 7 o'clock against American, as Ross hits the free throw. And the men's team is obviously looking forward to a game that's not too far off, December 29th against highly rated Pittsburgh. Ross hits again.
Well, and you certainly hope, as Ross made that free throw, as you mentioned, that the men's team puts a little bit better showing than they did last year against Pittsburgh, losing by 30. But like this women's team, I think the men's team this year is much improved from last year's squad.
And it's been a great year for athletics. Football, volleyball. Clemson has the basketball right now. And Thomas drives the lane, comes up short. Kelly Kyle comes up with the rebound and inadvertently got Thomas in the nose. And I think she also picked up a foul.
Dayton foul number 5, Kelly.
Well, it's been a rough game for Kelly Kyle. That's her 4th foul. That time she did the right thing. She pulled down the rebound. She had a defender on her. She was just trying to create a little space, but in doing so, her elbow hit the defender's nose, so she gets whistled for another foul. You can't argue with it, but it's just a tough foul to pick up.
72-28 Dayton. Thomas has it between the circles to Campbell. And now here drive is Hood, and she puts it in. Pretty move for Whitney Hood. She's the leading scorer with 9 points. The freshman averages 7. So it's 72-30. It's a 42-point game. At halftime, it was a 33-point game. Now Kendall Ross underneath for Kyle, and she has it picked, and Campbell is able to come up with it. Dayton 13 turnovers in the game. Here's penetration for Brown, double teamed. Now between the circles is Campbell to Hood. We'll see Jen Tiza in the lineup for Dayton for the first time momentarily. Here's a feed underneath, and Tate puts it in. Sweet move for Jasmine Tate, the freshman. She's got 3 points, and we have a timeout. I think Coach Jim Jaber has seen a little bit of the intensity go away. Lead is at 40. So Jen Tiza, who averages about 2 a game, 6'3" junior, is into the lineup.
I think she's going to check in, and Kelly Kyle, I believe, is going to the bench. But you do like it in a 40-point basketball game on a senior-laden squad that Jim Jaber is getting some of his younger players some quality minutes off the bench, because when these seniors graduate, obviously somebody has to take their place. And the more minutes they can get this season, whether it be in a blowout or not, the more minutes they can get this season, the better they'll be next season when they're in the starting role.
6:47 to go. 72-32 is the score. Clemson will fall to 7-6. Dayton will improve to 10-2. And Andrea Lindsay brings it up. Drives to the right side over to Armstrong. She fumbles the ball, but it comes right to Lindsay in front of the Dayton bench. Shot clock's at 15. Lindsay uses a tease a screen, shoots it from 15, and it's too hard. Tate comes down with the rebound. Brown back over to Tate. Draws a double team. Whitney Hood to Brown. Clemson not in any hurry. I mean, not that they're going to overcome a 40-point deficit in 6 minutes plus. Here's a pass underneath for Tate, and it's knocked out of bounds by Ashley Brown. Coach Jaber applauds the good overplay.
Yeah, when the Flyers first got back down the floor on defense, they were a little bit lost, weren't sure who they were supposed to pick up, but they figured it out quickly and kept Clemson from getting an easy look.
Ball inbounded to Thomas, played by Armstrong. Between the circles to Campbell, maneuvers in front of the Clemson bench left side. Tate fakes out Tiza, misses the shot. Jen comes up with the rebound, loses it. Back to Tate, misses the cripple. This time it's missed by Hood underneath. Clemson missing a myriad of shots, and that's why they're shooting 26%. And Lindsay with the basketball, under 6 minutes to play. Andrea Lindsay drives the lane, puts it in, got it and got fouled. Andrea Lindsay with 6 points. The 86% free throw shooter will get a chance for another one.
And the foul's going to be on Hardy, her 4th. It doesn't appear like it matters who is playing the point guard position for the Flyers, whether it be Lindsay or Gwynn or Cloxton, whoever it is taking the ball to the basket and putting up a lot of points.
The Maywood, Illinois sophomore misses the shot. And it's 74-32. Underneath, Thomas hits a shot. She gets in the scoring column for the first time. 74-34, 5.5 minutes to play. Armstrong with it in the background, yelling for people to go down court, that she can handle it on her own, and she does, despite the token pressure by Lily Hardy. Armstrong breaks Hardy down, uses a Brown screen, and they're going to call Brown, Ashley Brown of Dayton, for the foul on that screen.
Well, Coach Jaber doesn't like the call, but Brown stepped into it a little bit at the last minute, leaned the shoulder to the right. I believe it was a good call by the officials.
And we have 5:15 to go. Dayton up 74-34. Look forward to hearing Bill Thomas's interview with Jim Jaber after this game. Hood between the circles, guarded by Jen Tiza. To Campbell, to Thomas. Thomas, a little head fake, pulls up three-point line. To Hood, drives 7 on the shot clock, double team to Jasmine Tate. Underneath, over Ashley Brown. Ashley picks up her 4th foul, and Tate will go back to the line.
Dayton foul number 1, Ashley Brown, her 4th.
Well, Tate's 1 out of 4 from the free throw line today. She had not shot a free throw prior to tonight's ball game.
Shooting 2.
It looked pretty ugly on the first couple, but then found the stroke on the 4th one. Let's see if it carries over and she can maintain that stroke on these 2 attempts.
First one dribbles in.
Sometimes all it takes is repetition. Like I said, the first 2 free throws she shot did not look good at all, but she's really settled down. She's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable now that she's getting quality minutes in this basketball game.
And the next one doesn't go. They announced an attendance of about 650 tonight. That'll improve. Lindsay drives coast to coast, doesn't get the shot to go. Whitney Hood comes down with the rebound for Clemson, trailing 74-35 with 4:30 to play. Here's penetration by Hardy. Kick out, three-pointer, right corner, spins off for Thomas. And Lindsay back the other way.
Well, now is when the Flyers likely, well, as
Here's
I say that, Lindsay goes hard to the basket.
Shot is missed, but Ashley Brown is there. She missed it. She gets it back again. Has a shot blocked by Tate, and Clemson keeps it in bounds.
What I was going to say is I thought the Flyers might slow it down a little bit.
Clemson shoots the 3, and it's short. Ball comes right to Ashley Armstrong. Let's see if Dayton looks to run. 4 minutes to go. Good pass. Ross up to Brown. She got hacked. She got the basket. She'll go to the line. Clemson looks tired. You could just see Clemson. I mean, they are winded.
Ashley Brown shooting 1.
So Ashley Brown looks to complete the 3-point play. Wilberforce, the redshirt junior. Clemson will make a substitution. Parker will replace Tate.
For Jasmine Tate.
(76-35), 4:01 to play. And the 3-point play is completed. So Dayton at the free throw line is now 15 of 21. That compares to 4 of 10 for Clemson. Flyers 54% from the field, Clemson 25%. Turnovers are squared at 14, and Hood traveled underneath. Dayton crushing Clemson on the rebounds, 43-30, and we have a timeout in this game.
Well, again, as we talked about in the pregame show, everything that Clemson dominated last year, whether it be rebounds or points in the paint or fast break points, the Flyers are doing a much better job this year. They're out-rebounding them 42-31. They're outscoring them in the paint 40-22. And then the fast break points, how about this? 19 fast break points for the Flyers, only 4 for the Clemson Tigers.
And taking a look at your leading scores, we have Kathy Gwynn off the bench with 13. We have Holterman 12, Oakland 12, Kristen Doherty 10, 6 for Kendall Ross, 6 for Lindsay, 6 for Kiki Lund, 7 for Kara Cloxton. So the wealth has been spread around very, very well.
We don't have a man tonight, so it's up to you fans.
And on the flip side for Clemson, they have Hood with 9 points, and then nobody else has more than 5. And that is Marima Davis that has 5 points. Then really the biggest surprise, I believe, Delisha Lloyd, just 1 point tonight, coming in averaging about 11 points in the contest. So again, the Flyers lead 77-35, 3 minutes 50 seconds left on the clock, and it is evident now that the Flyers will indeed stretch that winning streak to 10 straight games. And you know, they're not playing a bunch of cupcakes here. Wins over Indiana, Cincinnati, and Clemson now in the mix. That's certainly an impressive 10-game winning streak, as it always is. Flyers will inbound the basketball. It'll be Ashley Brown holding onto the ball. Now she'll decide to bring it back up the court herself.
All right, Brown with the basketball. And I was just talking to Bill Thomas about the first half 49 points. He said, ironically, 3 years ago today, as Gentiza shoots the 3, it doesn't go on the left side. The rebound comes down into the hands of Lily Hardy. I'll get to what Bill told me here in a moment. Hardy with the basketball with 3:20 to play. Off to Wright. Wright starts to drive. Armstrong picks her pocket cleanly, and Ashley will let everybody get up court. Thomas tries to steal it from her, but it goes to Kendall Ross. And now a double team on Gentisa. She has her shot come up short, but Ashley Brown comes back with it, has the shot blocked. It's still in the court of play. Hardy shoots it at the free throw line, and it spins off. Kendall Ross comes down with the rebound. She's double teamed. She's tied up. The alternating possession will go to Dayton. 3 years ago today, ironically, Bill told me that Dayton throttled Detroit very badly and may have surpassed 49 points in the first half. And if the Flyers hit 90, which they still may with 2:57 to go, be the first time since opening weekend last year when Dayton had 96 points against Memphis. Marie Roche into the Dayton lineup, 6'2" junior, getting her first action of the night. Recovering from a knee sprain early in the season. Andrea Lindsay drives, doesn't get the shot to fall, and the rebound comes down to the hands of Kirsten Wright. 77-35 Dayton with the lead. And the penetration by Wright. Kendall Ross picks up the foul, her first. And Wright will go to the free throw line. Majors in communication studies. And at the free throw line this year, I don't have her down for anything, so it must not be much for her at the free throw line. 77-35 with 2:39 to play. Free throw for Wright is good.
And she's now 1 out of 2 this season from the charity stripe, so not a lot of opportunities, but hey, they all count when you get them, whether it's a blowout or not, so you always want to work on those free throws.
Wright's second free throw is good, so she connects on a pair, and it's a 40-point game. It was 33 at the half, so the Flyers have increased the lead by 7 this half with 2:38 to play. In a score that I think will shock America amongst women's basketball followers when this score is posted and reviewed tomorrow, especially by those folks in the ACC, and people in the A10 will take notice as well. Now Marie Roche starts to drive and traveled at the free throw line. With 2:21 to play. Coach Jaber in his squatting stance, looking on, will not shave again until the team loses sometime next year. Might be looking like Abe Lincoln by then. That's fine. Some scratching will take care of it. Driving Wright, double team, beautiful shot as she hits the floor. Kirsten Wright with 6. 2 minutes to go, 77-39. Marie Roche with the ball in the backcourt. To Lindsay. Andrea Lindsay will dribble. And maneuvers left side. Here's Kendall Ross's 3. Comes up short. Rebound comes down to the hands of Stephanie Thomas. Stephanie Thomas takes it over Armstrong, draws the double. Over to Hood. She puts it in.
Well, Clemson playing to the final horn, and again, the outcome of this game has long since been decided, but you do like the effort on the Tigers' part to keep up the pressure all game long, and then on the other hand, Dayton getting these young players some quality minutes and against a tough Clemson press, and so far, Lindsay and Roche have done an excellent job handling it.
Lindsay drives, breaks down the defense, and puts it in. 8 points for her here in the late going.
Well, Dayton is just flat out too quick for Clemson tonight. They've burned them to the basket on a number of occasions, whether it be with the point guards or by going over top and passing to Nikki Oakland in the first half.
1 minute to play. Wright tries to feed it inside. It's knocked away by Kendall Ross. To Armstrong. She palms it, no call. It's up to Ross, and Kendall Ross puts it in for her 8th point of the night. It's 81-41. It's a 40-point game. 45 seconds to play. See what Clemson does here with 35 seconds to go, down by 40 points. Thomas with it, feeds it to Hood. Her shot misses. Put back, Hardy, good. Hardy has 6 with 30 seconds to go. 81-43. Dayton goes to 10-2 and 10-game winning streak. Lindsay can just dribble this game out if she so chooses. Wright's not going to foul her. She's into the front court, 16 seconds to go. This is expected to be a tough game, and this has actually been a much easier game than most of the victories this year. It was 49-16 at the half. 7 seconds, 6 seconds, and I don't even think they're going to shoot it. Actually, they throw it away. with 2.4 to go. But the final score will be 81-43. And there's the buzzer. Or horn. Okay. I cued the horn. It took a little bit longer than I thought. 81-43. So 32 points in the second half for Dayton after 49 in the first half. 27 points in the second half for Clemson. And I tell you what, I look forward to hearing Coach Jaber what he's going to say about this. Wow. I mean, picture perfect performance. We'll get him over here and then we'll give you a complete statistical wrap up of this one.
It certainly was a great game by the Flyers. Anytime you can win by 39 over anybody, you're happy. When you win by 39 over a quality opponent from the ACC, you're absolutely thrilled with the team's performance tonight, and we'll hear the coach's comments.
All right, let's give it to Bill Thomas, and with the coach, take it away, William.
Well, Coach, I don't know, wow, amazing, any of those superlatives. A great first half and a great win, 81-40.